Buongiorno, today's band is from Firenze, and this is probably a known band to you, because it is for sure for me. That is, this band doesn't even exist on Metal Archives, at least for the time being. But, what can you do? In the end, only music matters. So, let's take a look. Band in question is Calvana, and this album is kind of hard to pronounce, given that it's not made with real alphabets. For the sake of this review, let's just call it IA. To be honest, no idea how many albums this band has put out, but, well, that's not actually the point here. The point is to focus on this album. As you can see, the tracklist is rather bizarre as well, because the band decided to go with non-alphabetical thing. I don't know if it's about being hipster, or is there a real point to it. It's up for you to decide, but at least these guys are not doing it the most obvious way. This is how the digipack looks like inside. Just a CD tray, minimal information here in Italy. Obviously, why would anybody want to see that in, I don't know, English? Here we have a couple of crescent moons, sort of a yin-yang approach. Then the cover image. I would imagine this could be the Calvana mountains here, which has given their name to the band. And inside of this booklet we have yet more black and red imagery, no lyrics, just wolves and whatnot. So the band decides to keep it rather anonymous, rather vague. And since there is no Metal Archive site, well, no bother checking out. I'm just gonna explain it all here. Now, this album, 55 minutes in total, is fast-paced black metal in so many ways in 1990s style. What it actually reminds me of 1990s is this very straightforward, kind of aggressive way of black metal that is mostly known, I guess, with the bands such as Marduk, also the Norwegian ones, but this definitely reminds me of Marduk. I could also say maybe in some ways Dark Funeral, but this is not as melodic, nearly, not at all. So being this kind of a straightforward, in your face, pounding, fast-paced, almost through the whole album, that is what I would use as a kind of a pinpoint band to just make a comparison that is probably known to most of the audience here. Now, being straightforward for 55 minutes can be actually quite exhausting, and that's exactly one of the problems with this album. Now, none of these riffs are anything memorable here. It's mostly just this aggressiveness, rather sinister atmosphere, and just pounding it all the way through. And while that is nothing wrong, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this kind of approach, since you don't have those kind of killer riffs or magnificent songs that stand out from the rest. It can be kind of a music that wears you down rather quickly. Now, I would say some 30 minutes with no fat at all would be probably more effective, but that's just me. I don't know, maybe there are people who would just enjoy all the way from almost an hour to go with this kind of music, but really, I'm not that guy. Now, that's not a major deal breaker, obviously, because overall this album is actually quite nice to listen to. The one that actually sticks out as a kind of a weird thing, or rather unusual thing, is the vocals, which are more on the growly side versus what our typical black metal vocals like. That is, no shrieky, no screamy, no kind of raspy stuff, but more about this kind of a semi-growling, which is not exactly pure death metal growling, but let's say 70-80% of that style, and then with something else. Well, at least it's not your typical black metal vocals, which I guess can be seen as a benefit, or benefit of doubt for the album. But overall, this is kind of a basic. Sinister, definitely. Fast-paced, yeah. But is there anything that actually makes this stand out? Not really. So while this is kind of easy to enjoy and just listen to when you're looking for some aggressive, dark black metal, there's nothing that makes this one go, yeah, this really blew my mind. So once again, easy to enjoy, but also quite easy to forget. But still, give it a look. At least there are a couple of tracks already on the Bandcamp site, and I can only imagine that more will be there later on. I won't know, but that will be seen. So take a listen to those tracks and figure out if this is your cup of tea. At least the price tag isn't too bad. See you next time. Bye bye.